Welcome back to Building in Fallout. We are here at the National Isolated Radio Array, or whatever this big satellite's called. Uh, we are trying to get into the Mire from here, and this is one of the easiest roads to take. So, we are taking a small break from the storyline mission we are on, just because we're moving to an upgraded location. What I mean by that is the Mire is a higher level location. That's one of the reasons we kind of needed to get a higher level weapon. So we got ourselves our new best friend in the 50 cal. Excuse me. Right now you're just trying to follow this road and get through the mountains, because eventually this road's going to go and taper off to the north. We don't want to do that. We want to go right here. Okay? We want to discover this location because it is going to help us out later on. Once we get through the free states, then we're going to end up having to mess with the ghosts of the Brotherhood of Steel. Not the ones that have come back to Appalachia, but the ones that did not survive Appalachia the first time. So that is one of the areas that they are going to send you to accomplish that. Oh, come on. Yeah, see? It is easy to stack up the ammo, especially off of things like the Scorched. Super mutants too, but not as much, honestly. Alright, so I'm actually gonna move my marker just so I know for sure. Yep, it was straight east. Now when it comes to the 50 cal, you can just completely unload on things. But for accuracy's sake, your best bet is small controlled bursts. What's this guy doing, a bank heist? Anywho. Pardon me. So as we venture along, eventually we should come across an old yeah, it's starting to come up on the map. But here's somebody's campsite. I don't mean a player. But yeah. So, not the greatest when it comes to turning over returns on your ammo, but ooh. somebody was stashing honey. No, wait a second. Was that the Raider chassis? Did I actually... Oh... Yeah, it would have come back to me after 60 seconds. Now, this is a very useful feature. As you can see, I'm wearing one of my power armor chassis, but if I were to take it off and collect it, both of them would say power armor chassis. So if you click in your right stick to inspect it, and then hit your big center pad on PlayStation, you can rename it. So you could, you know, call it Raider. Then when you back out, it changes it to Raider in your menu. So then you know what power armor set that is. But since I don't need an extra frame weighing me down with 10 pounds, we'll go ahead and get rid of that. So now we will continue on to our objective. Now you can see the landscape change. Things are starting to get darker. They will get swampier too, and there will be weird vegetation everywhere. Don't freak out. It's normal for Fallout. So again, just like the ash heap, the mire has toxic gas in the air. Not to mention the water here is very disease-ridden, and it is everywhere. So if you happen to be risking a waterborne disease because you're not in power armor or a hazmat suit, the game will tell you up in the corner. But we've already got those all covered. We have the hazmat suit. We're in power armor, which we will upgrade shortly. But we are here at Camp Venture, just to put it on the map. Because eventually we will need to return here for Brotherhood missions, as I had said before. But look out, because it is riddled with scorched. I don't think I have that effective of a range. And there's no opening on this side to get in. So, let's go ahead and drop down. Yeah, they got it all barricaded off. Efficient. Oh noes, they heard me coming. I wonder how. Moving on, let's go ahead. Now this is an interesting camp because down here in the old camp there are feral ghoul, but then there's scorched in the high camp. So be warned of that. Not the best thing for sniping, but still can be accomplished. Excuse you. Personal space. Alright. I'm saying there's someone else here. And there's even more someone else's around here. Now you can see an objective has come up for the Overseer's mission. And sadly, I don't think I have the skills to get in here at the moment. Sometimes, if you're lucky, power armor will spawn here. But I just want to clean up my scavenge. I want to say there is a way in here, so... And access center... Password is required. If I remember correctly, the password is in the lower camp. Not gonna lie, there's always something very satisfying at just about unloading on a bunch of enemies. That's heavy weapons are fun. Alright, so now if we can go ahead and pick our way in here, you can hear the rad roaches behind the door. I wouldn't waste a bullet on them. Fun fact, if you can actually use the melee attack to take out an enemy like a Scorched, then they will actually drop the ammo still just because you're holding the weapon. Now, eventually, the technical data we've been saving, this is a spot to turn it in at. But this requires a key. Was the quartermaster inside his bunk. Okay, so I'm not sure I remember where that's at. I mean, ammo's always nice. And that is exactly why we took Scrounger, just because we got a little bit more out of it. So as you can see, when we started with about 300 rounds, and now we got about 450, it grows. If, you know, you do it right. Of course, then you go up against one Scorch Beast Queen, and it's like, I need ammo! Where's the bunk? His bunk... Now, I'm not entirely sure if the item I'm looking for will actually show up outside of mission, where you're sent here by the ghosts of the Brotherhood. But if we are fortunate, it should be in one of these lockers or a duffel or something like that. I don't think Henry's letter has anything to do with it. There's a little backstory. Lead. That's the thing that's awesome about weights, is they're lead, but they weigh a ton. Or, well. So... And there's the whole Brotherhood's gimmick, preservation of technology. I don't think this has anything to do with it. There it is. Awesome. So now that we have that key, I'm gonna come over here and scrap some things so I'm not overweight. Alright. Now, Excuse me. Now we come back down here to the lower camp. Gave myself the runaround. Why do I hear Blues Traveler? Anywho, come down here to security. There's a few good reasons to come in here. Ammo being one. Random junk being another. Here's the command center password we needed. I'm just gonna pick that up. Junk, junk, junk. Scrap, scrap, scrap. Good old heavy missile launcher. Explosives are your thing. I don't know why I keep grabbing junk. I'm a scavenger at heart, I guess. But now that we have the admin password, I'm again gonna come over here to scrap stuff. Now, there used to be a bobblehead that spawned around here, but I haven't seen it in recent, so I guess they updated it or something. But now that the password's accepted... Oh, come on, unlock the door. Alright, it is unlocked. I knew that. I was testing the audience. That's aluminum. Fuel, that's aluminum too. More ammo. More ammo. And an overseer's cache.
Overseer's log, Camp Venture. Just who was this?
Now, this letter to Tommy is going to tell you about Fort Defiance. That's going to be important information letter. So I'm just going to grab it now. Hopefully by having it on me, it'll just tell us where Fort Defiance is, and we won't have to come back here and do this all over again. Always take a baby rattle just because it... I think we already have military fatigues from joining the army. But always take a baby rattle. It has lead in it. So now that we've gotten this whole shebang bang done, we're going to go straight north and look for railroad tracks, because we want to end up on this side of the tracks where they end. So straight north is not that easy. I think I actually have to go up the other side. I do. Because you have to kind of climb up here to this workstation in the back. So you climb the barricade here. And then head up back to the helipad. I hear somebody with nuclear codes. I was right. Well, that's a jip. No big deal, though. Why are you still beeping if you're not going to give me the thing? Now, there's usually a modification in this little shack. Sadly, it wasn't anything I would use. Is it just me, or is there another one in the area? I'm still hearing the beeping. Wait a second. I'm missing stuff left and right because there's a bunch of the electromagnetic cartridges. I think that's for the Tesla rifle. Yeah, no, it's still beeping away like he's supposed to be holding it. But anyway, we are still heading straight north looking for railroad tracks. I can see there's another location on the map. I hear a mega sloth. Now, don't freak out. Mega sloths are actually peaceful. Oh, he's scorched though. Still, they're a peaceful creature. But they are also very valuable food, so sorry, big guy, as much as I like you. Glad I found a bunch of ammo. He had a bunch of health. Give me a grenade launcher. Wow, he had some stuff on him, boy. Now, I might climb the treetops just because I think there's a workbench. Otherwise, this is going to be a grind. No, we're off. We're off course anyway. There's a red rocket, and that's guaranteed to have a workbench and a stash box. Now, if my memory serves me, there's almost always a a bunch of floaters here. So, if they're not your favorite thing to deal with, which I understand, they're not mine. But there should only be the classic trio. And there's also, I think, a few corpses around you can loot, because that was way too much junk. Yep. Yeah, way too much junk for just the floaters. But let's see if we can find ourselves. Well, looky looky. I forgot this was back here. And level 40 stuff, but I do want that fusion core. Alright. So now that we've got that going for us, go ahead and stash all that junk we scrapped. I'm also going to stash the Raider leathers while I'm thinking about it. But now, I think we need to head northwest to find these railroad tracks. Yeah, let's cross the river. There we are. And again, the weird vegetation I was talking about are all these red creeper vines. It's actually pretty normal for Fallout. There was an accident with a Gek. The Gek was damaged. If you know anything about the Gek, it's the Garden of Eden creation kit. It's supposed to rejuvenate an area, you know, purify the water, purify the vegetation after nuclear fallout has happened. Not so much. No, not with the luck. No, isn't. That is a sign of me. I'm supposed to be catching an airborne disease, but I did not. Now you can see when you get close to Harper's Ferry, they want you to investigate. We're not doing that right now. I'm just trying to find Harper's Ferry for fast travel purposes. And if you notice, this is a Free State symbol. Eventually we will be coming back here for Free State stuff. Oh, you guys are glitching. Well, really? That figures. Oh, what? Come on. How with the... Anyway. It looks... Okay, we found it. Another super mutants are fighting. But let's go back to the rail yard. And again, as a West Virginia native who has been to Berkeley Springs and Harper's Ferry several times, they did actually try and capture some of the sites and historical artifacts. Like, for example, this railway station house. It's where was it Stonewall Jackson? I'm forgetting my history class. But there was a last stand that happened during the Civil War here. And this is pretty much how it looks. Well, minus the creeper vines. But it's a very accurate portrayal. I also think that this is where you can scavenge yourself some, yep, black powder rifle. Tomahawks, if you're still into the throwing weapons, because they do more damage. It's a black powder pistol, if that is your deal, but I'm just gonna pass on it for now, because we are just trying to get to a certain location. And this is accurate too, believe it or not. The old railway and the new railway, both of them are closed down now, which is just kind of funny. But we're gonna go ahead and just find this location, because this is more Free State stuff. You can see there some more gas masks and such. And oh, hello. Useful, 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 useful. But here's the Harper's Ferry tunnel. But from here, we're gonna climb up. I don't think this goes all the way up though. Pardon me. Oh, come on. Come on. Keep going. Keep following this around. I do believe one of the bunkers that we need is below us. So I don't know if we're close enough to actually discover it. Probably not. But we're gonna keep climbing. And even further upwards. Oh, gold. That's useful. Not seeing any other... Ah, no. Okay. Just keep climbing up. Even Nope, that's copper. Still useful. And once again, even more. Alright. So now that we've done scavenged all that, and we're up here on top of the ridge, what we are looking for is it? No, we are looking for a small canyon. So it's legitimately just a small canyon that carves between 2 points. Is this it? This may be it. But we're gonna drop down and investigate. Because it's nestled. Yep, this is it. So, I know this doesn't look like much. It's actually not the best place to camp because you can't really get support out here on the rocks and whatnot. But there's a black titanium deposit right here. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to our map. We're going to expand the camp slots, and then we're going to activate Camp 2. Okay, so now that you have your second camp activated, which means that this one is inactive. So it's still there. You can still see it, but it's not actually running. It's not there for anybody to be at the vendor. So now we're going to go into our Pip-Boy and spend the 21 caps to place the camp. Now, it doesn't really matter where you put the border up because this is not going to be a permanent camp. Or at least I don't make it that way. If you want to, go right ahead. Honestly, it's very defendable because unless they've got you stuck in a kill box from up top, the only way they can come through is this, valley. So if you're dealing with anything like feral ghouls or deathclaws or anything like that, there's one place they can come from. But, hey, howdy. Nice to meet you. So if we go ahead and place our camp here, that's going to allow us to go over to resources, grab the titanium extractor, and then just throw any kind of generator that'll handle it. And power her up. Now again, this is just a supply camp for me. I don't really build here. This is just so we can end up getting the titanium we need. So if you want to throw up if you want to throw up something, just a shelter or a couple of crafting benches, you can. A stash box, what have you. But I'm just going to leave this run for now. Go ahead and find this farmhouse, because it's already got, at least a weapons workbench going for us. I don't think there's really too much here. I mean, it's a little scavengeable, but what is the real piece de resistance in this area is this gorgeous thing right here. I can't remember exactly how you pronounce the name of it, but there's a town on top of there. Like when the Gek malfunctioned, this creeper vine just sprung up underneath of it. Tanagra Town, that's what it is. Now, the one thing that's cool about it is, well, the first thing is it has a very good spawn for Mega Sloth. Gross. But that screws. So that's one of the benefits to having a camp nearby is there's a pretty good spawn rate to have at least one of them show up here almost permanently. But again, there's a town on top of here, has a lot of good scavengeables. But as you go up this winding path of the buses and whatnot that leads you to the top, eventually you're going to get into some cave systems that are strewn throughout here, and they are full of cave crickets. Why am I in danger? Anyway, those cave crickets have a lot of waste acid that is dropped. So if you're running low on acid, this is one of the best places to come farm for it because there are just so many cave crickets. You just got to make sure that you can, you know, deal with cave crickets. So, and again, this is one of the best areas. The mire itself has a lot of good places that are just stacked with scavengeable items everywhere. So again, here's an armor workbench. We already found a weapons workbench nearby. So you really don't need to have a full camp setup over at that titanium deposit. But as you can see, I'm not sure if that person was there to place a camp like I was. If that's the case, sorry. My bad, I got there first. But it's usually out of the way. I've almost never seen anybody actually have that as a camp before. I've seen people online. I mean, that's how I found out about it. They've talked about it, but I've never been contested for that camp. Of course, I only ever use it when I need titanium, and then I move on. I move the camp. I still move it here in the mire, but I move the camp. So, from here, there is one more location that we need to find to set ourselves up for fast traveling through the Free States missions. Because they have a lot of running back and forth in the mire for the Free State missions, if you don't already have some of the locations discovered. But I'll go ahead and end the episode after we find this one. This should be the one I'm thinking of. And if it is, it's also a very good place to farm death claws. Yep, this is it. So, the abandoned waste dump. Mining nodes outside for copper. But, yep, you can see there's a deathclaw nest here. Ooh, deathclaw egg. And sometimes there is a deathclaw just waiting out here for you, and wow, I didn't even kill him. They gave me full prize. Love it. But, you've got the cavern here for the waste dump. And that will be where the story takes hold eventually. So, oh my goodness, really? So from here, I am probably going to just go ahead and walk the interstate here, discovering locations. I'm going to be just running past them, you know, basically just surviving on certain engagements. But Usually there isn't much on the roads anyway, but the main thing that I'm wanting to do is find fast travel locations that we can use later. Um, like right here, and right here, and right here. This is, you know, a power plant, this is a dam, and this is, I want to say that's the pharmaceutical, the chemicals company. All of these are good places for later fast travels because we're going to be doing a bunch of running around here in the mire. But hopefully you found this entertaining and informative, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.